No.
Good morning, Patriot family. Welcome to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle on this wonderful Thursday. We're almost there. It is the longest weekend ever, or the longest week ever, because we're coming off of the heels of a holiday week that for many of us felt shorter, right?
It really does feel like a long week. It is insane. We hope that you all are doing well, and hopefully this week is not dragging by. Goodness gracious. It has definitely not been a slow week for news.
No.
That's for sure. Michelle's inbox has been full of all the things. And we were at a press conference yesterday, which is why we were not actually live yesterday. But, you know, great things happening here in Florida. And we just are excited and glad to be a part of it. Thank you guys for joining us today from all of our social media platforms and streaming platforms. We appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys. We're going to be talking a lot today about how Trump has, he was talking during his cabinet meeting. His cabinet meetings have become like a 2-hour miniseries. I mean, you really should pop popcorn and listen to the heads of every department. It's pretty amazing what they're doing. Trying to make cars more affordable for you and I, and we'll tell you exactly who's to blame for that happening in the first place. Hint, hint, all roads lead to Biden. We're going to talk about the potential for a release in the spring of the Afghan withdrawal report that's going to show all the botchness. We're hoping that that will be made public and highly unredacted to us. So lots of things we're going to discuss, Allie. Plus, you know, we're just excited to be back in the studio or back here live with you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe wherever you're following us from.
And comment, please. We love the comments.
I mean, even, listen, we get all kinds of comments. We're here for it. We can take it. We're big girls.
Yes.
That's right. Let's go ahead and open the mic.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor MAGA, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
So excited to be here. This got a lot to cover, Allie, I guess we'll go ahead and get started with
Go.
one of my favorites. I mean, I'm now totally like Team J.D. Vance. I was a skeptic early on because of some of his comments he made about President Trump, but I'm also an adult,
right?
And I can admit when I'm wrong sometimes.
You know, that's hard for people. It really is. It takes a very courageous person to be like, you know what? I may have been wrong about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I think, and this happened to me with a little side note with a local representative who I actually ran against in a primary, and pointed out things that I thought that were wrong, but he went on to have like an amazing legislative year last year. And so now we talk and it's like, I'm kind of a fan, but honestly, it's two things. It's A, me realizing the people voted and voted him in, so he's our representative, so swallow your pride. And second of all, like, sometimes people make good changes, and then I think it's...
Especially when they're faced with themselves, right?
Yeah.
When they're faced with themselves and they're able to actually integrate that, what they see versus what they think that they see, and what they want to see, it leads to different ways of behavior, acting.
And I think this is it's a sign when the system works the way it's supposed to work, right?
Absolutely.
All good things. Well, J.D. Vance came out and he's just going to let the American people know, when you hear people talk about how things are largely, or were especially largely unaffordable, and they want to say, listen, you've been in office for 8, 9, 10 months. Listen to him dial back to exactly where the blame goes. And when you have to spend the first part of your administration fixing the crap from the people before, well, take a listen.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to serve with this great team that you've assembled. And I just want to pick up on something you said, Mr. President, because you hit the nail on the head. That it is absurd that Democrats talk about an affordability crisis that they created and the people around this table work every single day to address. You'll hear a lot of statistics today. You hear a lot of statistics in our political conversation. I think the most important statistic for the American people is that under the Biden administration, the average American family lost over $3,000 of household income. And under the first 10 months of this Trump administration, they have gained over $1,000 of household income. What that says very clearly is that we are fixing the problem that Joe Biden and the Democrats created in the last administration. If you look at every affordability crisis that's confronting the American people today, it is traceable directly to a problem caused by Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Why did homes get so unaffordable? Because we had 20 million illegal aliens in this country taking homes that ought by right to go to American citizens. Why did tax bills get so unaffordable? Because Democrats were raising taxes while congressional Republicans under the president's leadership, we're now cutting taxes. Why did food get so expensive? Because we printed trillions of dollars and threw it into green scams that made our agricultural economy suffer while Americans were paying higher prices for food. On every single one of those issues, Mr. President, I think we've made incredible progress. But it would be preposterous to fix every problem caused over the last 4 years in just 10 months. I think that we've done incredibly good. But what I see over the next year, and you heard Brooke talk about joy and gratitude, what I really think this season represents for me, and I think for the entire administration, is that we have now done incredible work to fix what Joe Biden broke. And I think that next year, in American growth and American prosperity, could be the best year that we've had in the United States of America.
Bring it back, Krista.
It's going to happen because we're all working hard.
It's gonna happen.
I love it.
How do you have willful ignorance for 4 years under Biden, and now it's like you just want to snap your fingers and have it change? And I understand that, but I mean, it takes time to right the ship.
It's weaponized. It's weaponized ignorance is what they did. And they're they turned a blind eye to it, right? And now that we have a president who is operating from a representative standpoint, representative government, something that we, the American people, have never seen before, it's causing them pain points because they want to continue, with their agenda, which was the dismantling of the American sovereignty and the way Americans live, right, and have for so long.
And it's ironic to listen to Democrat talking points that want to now talk about the pain and pressure that the American people are under. They were willing to put you under more pain and more pressure during the government shutdown just to get health care for illegals. They were like, you're our biggest pawn, just buckle up. Well, you were their pawn for 4 years, too, to try to topple what America stands for. And Allie, I'm grateful to see J.D. Vance take the time. And part of what I saw in how he handled this was extremely presidential. I mean, I'm not like wink, wink, nod, nod. But
I agree with you. I do. And I think that there are a lot of potential, candidates and people that are currently serving for higher office because they stand so strongly in principle and they're looking to President Trump as their compass. And he essentially is the tip of the spear. And while he only is the tourniquet, and it really does require all of us to be active and take an active role in our own governance, he is the future. I mean, that's MAGA and America First is the future of America.
It is. We're not going anywhere. And Allie, so that we saw, we've actually heard the other day that the average vehicle now in the United States for sale is like, as the MSRP is $50,000. And that tells you how long it's been since I've bought a car, a somewhat new car. But going back and looking at why that is also tied back to the Obama and Biden administration. Harris, I guess she really didn't do much. But so it was nice to see this gathering in the Oval Office from the leaders in that industry, the automobile industry, talking about, listen, we're going to bring not only our production back here, but a lot of that red tape is now gone, which will make these cars a little bit more affordable. Let's take a brief listen.
Mr. President and Secretary, all the important lawmakers here, competitors, today is a victory of common sense and affordability. We're very proud of Ford to be the #1 auto producer in our country. 80% of the vehicles we sell here we make in our country. And we never left, unlike many of our competitors. We're the #1 exporter, and we have the most auto factory workers. And this CAFE standard that is aligned with customer demand is the right move for a lot of reasons. We were #2 last year in EV sales. We were #3 in hybrid, and we're the leading brand for combustion. We believe that people should be able to make a choice, as you said, Mr. President. and we will invest more in affordable vehicles. This allows us.
Yeah, so you heard in the last soundbite with J.D. Vance talking about printing money, the U.S. government, and throwing it into Green New Deal projects that largely did not produce anything, you guys. Part of that was an incentive for auto industry makers to say there were mandates on them. A certain amount of their production had to be electric vehicles. We didn't have the infrastructure in place to maintain these electric vehicles.
We didn't have infrastructure, and we didn't have maintenance. So the Green New Deal was going to essentially kneecap the automobile industry of America. Not only were we getting our products and our parts and things like that from overseas, a lot of times they weren't even being assembled here in America. They were all being shipped here from other places. And then when you have these mandates that I think every single automobile owner, or I mean not owner but like company, should have stood up and said absolutely not, and pushed back to the federal government and said no. This is not what we're doing. This is not good business practice for us. We don't have the infrastructure, and we're not following this. I think more people in America needed to do that and push back against the Biden and Harris and Obama administration for things that didn't make sense.
Well, this is how you know that it was in their vested interest financially not to. They were given a lot of incentives. They were given free taxpayer money, because now you see them, places like, I think I just learned Costco, going in to try to sue Trump over these tariffs because they don't like what it's doing right now currently.
Yeah, and I used to be a member of Costco, and I completely shut them off after COVID. Because I'm like, you're not going to let me in to go shopping because I won't comply. Like, I'm not wearing your mask in order to shop.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous. So,
well, and it's funny when you talk about the electronic vehicles, so the CO2 that everybody's crying about coming out of the tailpipe is coming out of the tailpipe of the institution wherever you go to charge the thing. So it's coming from somewhere.
Right.
But Trump went on to say we lost over 50% of our auto industry. And now it's roaring back bigger than ever because of tariffs. So what you're doing basically with tariffs is you're leveling the playing field. But the auto dealers that were in that room, Allie, they were basically thanking Trump for bringing back the car loan interest tax reduction, which is going to save consumers thousands. I remember going in just to look for a vehicle. It was a couple years old, and there were all these added costs. And the dealership, every dealership in the area was telling me that this is because they're having a hard time getting their hands on parts. And so they're passing on the cost.
Yes.
To you and I. I mean, it was $5,000, $8,000, $10,000.
Yep. It's incredibly insane. But you know what I like about this, and I'm going to tie it into the executive order. Well, I don't know if it's really an executive order, but the executive order that came out yesterday, the Trump savings accounts that were just announced yesterday. That was it was like the seed money is $1,000, and it goes into new accounts for children that are born in 26, I believe, to 28. And that seed money is reallocation of funding through the One Big Beautiful Bill that is going to fund that seed money, and it automatically opens once you file for the child's Social Security. You can fill out the application, and it's a savings account. You can put money into it up to $1,000 a year. Companies can do it. Philanthropists can do it. Anybody can put into this essentially an IRA for your child. But there's a group, the Dell family, like Dell Computers, they decided to donate, I believe, $6 billion to retroactive that for children 10 years that are 10 years old. So if you have a child or a grandchild or a niece or a nephew, and I'm getting to my point, that is born, that has been born 10 years ago, and up to now, you can file for this savings account that essentially will build generational wealth, right? It gives them a steady understanding of what that looks like. But also, you can utilize this kind of finance incentive, right? These savings accounts for the child to buy their first car.
Yes.
Freedom is travel. Freedom is money. The ability to do things without limitations. That is freedom. Under, morality, which is liberty, but you want to make sure that these kids are set up for life, essentially, and that's not something we've ever seen. The Americans, we as Americans are very givers. We're big givers, right? And this is a way for philanthropists and businesses to incentivize growth in America. We're investing in the future of America. There are some people that are just mad about it. I'm like, how?
I know. Well, because I've seen those same reports. People are asking, does the Trump family have their hand in? Listen, it was very clear from the press conference. These are the same people that are angry about these savings accounts for your children at birth.
Right.
These are the same people that are upset about the educational savings account because how dare you, the parent, decide where your child goes to school?
But not about funding the Taliban or, circumcision for boys in Zimbabwe. Like,
tell me you're a Democrat without telling me you're a Democrat. Listen, if you're still a Democrat today, we need to get a hotline that you can call. If it's okay.
Thank you for calling the Liberal Rehabilitation Center. How may I help you, sir, ma'am?
We love you. We would love to engage with conversation with you, but it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good. It's going to feel a little, anyway.
Prickly. It's fine.
Let's pivot. You know what else kind of feels a little bit good? This was something that was so much fun, guys. This not very often that we really get a chance to be elated about some news, but take a look at this post from our Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump. He says, any and all documents, proclamations, executive orders, memorandums, or contracts signed by order by the now infamous AutoPen within the administration of Joe Biden are hereby null and void and offer no further force or effect. Anyone receiving pardons, commutations, or any other legal document so signed, please be advised that said document has been fully and completely terminated and is of no legal effect. Thank you for your attention
to this matter. Ooh, ooh, I love it. Yay.
Oh my gosh. All those rubber. Hey, you know who that brings into play then? Anthony Fauci. Mm-hmm. Mark Milley. Mm-hmm. What would you need a pardon for, Fauci? I don't understand. Pardon me. Why would you need a pardon? I don't understand. I don't understand why. And remember, they developed this new term, preemptive pardon. Like, that's not even a word.
I think that's what they got, right? But I also think that President Trump took it another step further and said even appointments that have been signed with the AutoPen are null and void. I believe I read somewhere, I have not corroborated this, but something about Michelle Obama used the AutoPen for something. I don't know.
Listen.
I'm like, anything is possible at this point.
It felt a little bit like,
word for it. I don't know.
It felt a little bit like the Oprah Winfrey show, like her Christmas or holiday show that she does, where it's like, everybody gets a car, and you like return to your seat and everybody's got a car key, and it's like, yeah, that's what it felt like. Maybe she had the AutoPen. I don't know.
Maybe.
She's a good friend of ours. But anyway, this will be fun to see. Again, I know we're only less than a year into the administration. A lot of us still want to see people held accountable. I'm told it's coming. So this is exciting. This is another step, another dialing back. And part of what it does too, guys, is it puts the deep state and their actors on notice that what they tried won't work. Right. It won't work. And what I love that Donald Trump does by putting this out there really on X and on Truth Social is he bypasses the media. If ABC doesn't want to report it, that's okay. More eyes look at X every day than ever look at any of those three-letter media companies. So he's not waiting for them to report it properly. He's taking the messaging directly to the American people and saying, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
And so I kind of like that. It's interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I really do think that our administration and people within it that are operating at higher levels need to utilize the independent journalists that we currently have to push out their information and not rely on legacy media, especially since the GOP, the House GOP, and the Speaker of the House will not put forth a vote to repeal the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act that would remove the ability to utilize lies and propaganda in media.
Oh, wait. Allie, didn't you send our producer a really nice gift of an example of lying and propaganda?
I didn't even know we were going to go here, so this is kind of funny.
No, we can go there. Let's go there now. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Take a look at this picture, guys. This is an example of how the media misconstrues stuff. Tell us what we're looking at here, Allie.
All right, so what we're looking at is the narco boats that keep getting blown to smithereens by the Department of War due to our extensive intelligence agencies. Guys, this is how this works. And you have also underneath that, you have the Summer of Love, or Democrat Tifa, essentially. And this is what the media is trying to tell you, that it's just a fishing boat. Those are, innocent Venezuelans going fishing. You see all that white stuff? I don't know. Have you ever seen? What is
It's
that?
snow in the Gulf. That's what it is.
Right. Have you ever seen, what is that? The name of that show on Discovery Channel where they go fishing? Deep sea diving. No, it's not that.
No,
and then down at the bottom, you saw, a guy throwing a Molotov cocktail. Yeah, mostly peaceful. That's fire everywhere. Mostly peaceful. It's okay. It's all fine.
And they shouldn't be allowed to do that. They shouldn't be allowed to misconstrue that. So if we could just pause.
It goes
for
back
1
to
second.
the "let's go Brandon" comment, like in 2020. Like, lady, that is not what you were hearing.
They were saying. They were not saying "let's go Brandon."
Okay.
I want to talk. Can we pause briefly on the narco boat situation? Because, these are boats that are bringing in poison and synthetic poison to maybe a Hunter Biden party. We're not sure, but they're definitely coming on to this country. And they're coming through the Gulf of America. They're not out deep sea fishing. This is not some charter that people have hired to go deep sea fishing. This is not a family out on a Saturday. These are people that make these runs, these coyotes, these cartels that make these runs into this country all the time with this poison. So now you've got the Department of War, after designating them as terrorists, because you're poisoning our people. They're now treating them as terrorists, and they're blowing up these boats. The Navy's giving the orders. They're blowing up these boats. You had one boat where the boat blew up, 2 people flew off board, and then they are climbing back on board, and so they nail them again. Now, I'm sorry. This is exactly what we do when we engage overseas in something. Yes. And the fact that the Democrats and the media are so worried about the lives of these 2 people, do you know what's going to happen when those 2 people swim back ashore minus the billions of dollars of drugs that they just got blown up? Do you think the cartel's going to walk them back warm and fuzzy put them next to a fire to warm up? Or are they going to blow them to smithereens?
They will.
You have no care of what's happening over in Venezuela. You have no care of what's happening across the border with human trafficking. You have no care about what took place in Benghazi to our own American people. But you're going to comment about a fishing boat. This
part. Ooh, yes, girl. Yes. Okay.
It made me mad.
Here we go. Yes.
Do I get pom-poms?
Yes, girl. Shelly gets the pom-poms. Ooh, that was fire. I loved it.
It just made me mad this morning because I heard somebody call into a radio show and was like, but there's the 2 people were still fighting for their life. I'm like, they were fighting for the boat because they know, oh crap, if I lose this load of like whatever I'm carrying, my life's done.
Right. No, 100%.
It's not like the cartels are full of grace. Are you kidding me?
But what I want the American people to understand is that we have incredible technology that is able to figure out who these people are, what they're doing, and we have a really good intelligence community through the Navy and otherwise that are looking at these people. They have the intelligence on them. They're not flying by the seat of their pants, right? Like, this is not just some drone that you bought at Walmart or off of Amazon that came from China somewhere. Like, this is heavily advanced equipment that our military intelligence community is using in order to strike these people. Mind you, these are the same folks that were quiet when Obama was literally striking everybody. So
and you know what would solve this? Stop bringing narcotics in a boat in the ocean. Problem solved.
Yeah.
But you know what? We closed the southern border, so they can't bring it in any other way.
And I can see a specific special task force going into certain places in order to get rid of these terrorists. I mean, there was hinting of it yesterday during the cabinet meeting press conference. So where they essentially said, I believe it was Secretary of War said, we're going to soon be on boots on ground, right? We're soon going to find them where they're at, where they're staying. So they know where they are. This isn't random.
We see you.
Goodness.
It isn't random. And actually, I'll be honest, if I know the administration the way I think I know the administration, this is them operating under grace. Because you know what? They could go in and take out the stash houses and everybody. You think 100%. They care?
And they're gonna. You know why? Because they're not learning their lesson by getting their boats blown up. So they're like, okay, you want to play? Let's go. And honestly, it's like somebody constantly coming into your yard and stealing something, right? How many times are you going to let them do it?
Did I say that? We're in Florida. I can say that.
Yes, stand your ground. 1,000%. This is America. This is not Sparta.
It's
America. Right, remember it? This is Sparta. That whole part in 300, this is exactly it. That part. I love that. That's
just why
that's
every
energy.
Strong man needs a good woman behind him because, let's be honest. Okay, moving on though, guys. Let's talk about our health care, because we were sitting at a luncheon after the governor's, after we were with Governor DeSantis yesterday, and we're talking to some people about just kind of how hard this is when you really want to make leaps and bounds to get the people that are heavily influenced by big pharma, to kind of get them out of the way of making policy and out of the way of science happening, because we really need people that are independent thinkers involved in overseeing the FDA, the CDC. So I want you guys to take a look at this. Allie, you sent me this, and this lays out sort of what's taken place in the last 4, 8, 10 years. You go back as long as you want, because nobody other than RFK Jr. has really tackled this. Take a look. This is, these are people that held positions, not elected positions, appointed positions, that were making decisions both at the FDA, CDC. You got Scott Gottlieb. He was a former FDA commissioner while also being in charge of regulating Pfizer. How the hell do you do that? Stephen Hahn, on the left there, he is a former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Moderna. I don't think he did his job. I mean, it's like leaving the fox in charge of the hen house. James C. Smith, he was the CEO of Reuters, that place that delivers news, and while also being in charge of informing people about the COVID-19 vaccines. And of course, the godfather of them all, Anthony Fauci, he was the NIAID director under the National Institutes of Health, but also the funder of bioweapon research and gain-of-function research for COVID. So this is how we've gotten so far off course, guys, when we talk about MAHA and we talk about the uphill climb that RFK Jr. has to battle every single day. This didn't happen overnight. We left people who were, I guess, who had investments on the other side, which is probably going to bring us to our next story, too.
This is a huge conflict of interest, and this is what moms who have been involved in the bodily autonomy movement from medical procedures have been advocating since the 80s, when they gave pharma exemptions from liability. So,
I mean, and why we really now have no really great data because a lot of things have been scrubbed. And this is what happens. They go in, they do unconscionable things, they make money off of it, they line their pockets, and then they just torch it on their way out. Yep. And there's not a lot of footprint left. And then you come in wanting to do good things like RFK Jr., and you've got left behinds and stowaways that still, they kind of talk one way to your face, and behind your back, they're trying to kneecap you.
It's the deep state. It's the pharmaceutical. That's why the pharmaceutical company and their lobbyists are so powerful. Yeah. Because you've sold your soul, which is pointless because your soul's already been bought and paid for. So, I mean, oh, Lord have mercy.
Absolutely. Well, there's good news coming out of the Department of Education, which, of course, is shrinking. They're taking a lot of the responsibilities that took place under that three-letter agency and moving it under other agencies, consolidating. It's actually working smarter and using your tax-paying dollars better. But Linda McMahon said the other day, Monday, actually, she notified universities that she's launching a new portal holding these universities accountable for failures to disclose their foreign funding as it's mandated by law. So here you've got her streamlining now a portal. Very easy, universities. All you have to do is go in and document your foreign funding. Where's it? Who's it coming from? How much was it? And where did you use it within your universities? Now, majority of universities have not yet complied to this. It's pretty interesting. I think we might see a tie to the radicalization of our young people on campuses and those that came here on visas but don't even like this country, and where their funding's coming from.
Right. Well, I mean, this has been a suspicion for a lot of us since we've seen the college campus riots over the last couple of years, right? We've noticed that a lot of them were foreign born. And so I would be interested to see where all this money is coming from. I don't think our universities should be funded by foreign companies, foreign countries at all, period.
And listen, these foreign countries give, I was listening to Bridget Gabrielle the other day, and she's even telling stories about, and she gives a lot more documentation than I could ever give here on the show, but talks about these, these universities that will give, and I'm talking, China, you've got other, like Iran, they will give these universities billions and billions of dollars and say, listen, you need to make X amount of your staff Iranian. And so then you see people that will apply for visas to come here and be a professor of like language arts, and they're from Iran, and you're like, I'm sorry, an American can do that. So you're wondering why did they do that? Why are they hiring that way? Why are they now teaching differently? Because in order for that college to get that money from that government, from that foreign source, they've got to make the goods. So they're selling out our universities.
And this is exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about repealing or removing H-1B visas. This is what Governor Ron DeSantis did with the Florida State College, right? Yeah. This is what's happening. It's absolutely wild that we have foreigners that are here utilizing and taking up essentially these easy jobs that Americans can fill, veterans can fill, and it's unconscionable. It really is. It's a disheartening thing.
You know who's very American and who knows American qualities and American values? Americans. Hire the American nearest you. Okay,
no, seriously. But also, I also kind of wanted to say too that like, I think I just lost my train of thought. Good Lord,
girl, is it me?
That happens. It's fine.
You know what
I'll come back to it.
It's because we got so much in the gray matter.
There's a lot.
Upstairs.
There really is a lot.
That like I have files and folders, and then you know that little circle thing you get when you try to upload something. Mine's like spinning. Interrupt me when you get it back. I want to talk about Paulina Luna because guys, it shouldn't be this hard to file a bill and get people to vote on it to stop insider trading, basically to not be able to vote on policies where you have vested interest financially. It should be largely illegal. I heard that her and Tim Burchett both filed. Is it called a withdrawal? I don't know the exact technical term, but basically it forces a vote. Let's listen to Paulina Luna and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, I brought numbers because numbers do not lie. So when you hear members of both parties saying that they have solutions for affordability, the housing crisis, pharmaceuticals, all of this, and yet you look at their personal investments, you'll know that it's literally just political gamesmanship. And unless we actually prevent insider trading, which is happening every single day in Congress, if people are telling you otherwise, they are lying to you, and really look into the regulations on individual stock trading, I would say even make it similar to the executive branch, we are literally going to never be able to fix anything because you have people on both sides that are controlled op for the three big ones, BlackRock, Vanguard, and Big Pharma. Let's look at these numbers real quick. Okay, so in the House, you have 25% of members, and in the Senate, 30% of members that own personally, totaling about $100 million in stocks in Big Pharma. Then you have BlackRock and Vanguard. In BlackRock, that big spooky organization that, in my opinion, is contributing to the housing crisis in this country because they're buying up all those single-family homes. You have about 13 members reporting holdings, but that's a significant number, especially when you have only 535 members. Sorry, the video got cut off there in both the House and the Senate. So roughly, all that to say, roughly 1 in 3 members of Congress have exposure to either pharmaceutical, Big Pharma, BlackRock, and Vanguard. So do you really think that they're going to be able to fix and bring forward great solutions when they are personally benefiting and impacted off of the legislation that's coming off the House floor? And the answer is no. So look, I'm all for solutions. I will work with anyone to come forward with a solution. But to do nothing is not the angle. And so I know the speaker actually just went to the press and said that, he's wanting to stop the insider trading. That's great. I think America wants us to stop insider trading. And so I'm happy to work with him. But the point is to do nothing is to do a great disservice to the American people. And I'm not going to be quiet and I'm not going to let this go because this is a serious issue. We really want to talk about the crime.
I agree 100%. I love that she gets on her phone and she gives it straight to the American people. She doesn't have to go to a journalist. She gives it straight to the American people. And I think more people in Congress and more people in elected representative positions need to behave this way. Don't go silent. And if somebody is threatening you to be silent, you do the same thing. You go live.
Public. Yes, you go live. Because listen, if they've already, we had this conversation. If they're already threatening you, if you're already on the verge of being somewhat blackmailed, then
so that you could be
what
compliant?
is the harm? What is the harm in saying it? Just say it.
And own it.
People are full of grace. Yeah, we're full of grace. And understand that every person, falls short. Allie, I that's what you and I will do. I'm just saying, I would.
Right.
I will squeal louder. Just going to say.
I would honestly forgive someone faster with accountability and ownership than I would for someone that has lied and lied and lied and will refuse to take accountability.
Yeah. That should go in every faction of life, not just politics.
Yeah.
Those of you that are taking notes, if you dare take them from Allie and I for your dating life, that's a good thing to live by. I'm just saying. Good news coming out. I think we're going to have something in 2026 that's going to hit relief in your pocket, talking about the IRS and taxes. Take a listen to President Trump.
And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay, because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax. We've slashed $1 trillion.
I mean,
Good.
can you imagine?
Pray for him, because the last person that tried to get rid of the IRS ended up in a box.
And that tried to rehaul the CIA and intelligence agencies, JFK. God bless you.
So pray for that man and his administration, and that, those that are snakes are exposed and dispelled of, and give the American people courage to accept the things that is true.
It's hard. It is. It's like buckle up, and then you kind of need a warm pillow to hug at the end of the day.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't believe this is the country that we lived in. Guys, we've got so much with open mic. You think the first half's been wild. We're going to wait till you hear more about the second half. We're going to give you a quick commercial break and tell you how you can support open mic, ladies. We'll be right back after this.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OPENMIC for 10% off your order.
Stays on, red hat stays on, red hat stays on, red hat stays on.
Dancing
Hey,
alone because
Patriot.
Allie's not in the studio with me. Go ahead.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'll be there tomorrow. Guys, I also want to let you know that libertycigars.com has a 12 Days of Christmas box. If you order it by Monday, you'll be able to enjoy it for the remaining 12 days of Christmas. And I think you actually should do that. You can use promo code OpenMic for that as well. Go look for it. libertycigars.com.
Go look for it. Makes a great gift, Allie. I mean, if you have a city, county commissioner, a man in your life that likes a quality cigar, if you have, why did I say that in a Trump voice?
That likes cigars. Just saying.
Not talking Monica Lewinsky. We're talking like.
Oh, Lord have mercy, Michelle.
She made my generation remembers. It was like, oh, okay. We're gonna pivot because it's a family show. Okay, y'all, check out what the Trump administration has just done in halting immigration naturalization for people from 19 designated third world countries. Take a look at this document. I think we have the document first. So this is coming. It's a policy memorandum for the review of all pending asylum applications from specific countries. Allie, I think we have a map of the countries that he's calling. Listen, we just want to take a pause here. These are the countries. Afghanistan, shocker when you see some of what's been done throughout in the news cycle. Chad, Republic of Congo, Guinea, Haiti's on there, Iran, Libya, Somalia. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ilhan Omar. Sudan, Yemen. You've got Cuba, which I thought was interesting. We love our Cuban refugees that are here in Florida, but until we can look and vet a little further, Sierra Leone and Turkmenistan and Venezuela. So he is pausing, and I mean, he doesn't care what part in the process you're at. It's a pause.
Halt.
Pause.
No more. Good. It needs to happen.
Absolutely.
It needs to happen.
You know what Sorry.
No, go.
You know what happens when you have, like, let's say a food company, right? And you're like, producing food, you're Nestle or whatever. And you get, somebody comes back and says, we think there's salmonella, contaminants here or there. You know what they do? They grind everything to a halt. What happened in 9/11 when we realized, oh my gosh, people were carrying box cutters onto planes? We grounded for the first time ever over our nation flights. I mean, there's at some point that you're ringing a 5-alarm bell going, oh, we don't know what's going on here. Pause.
Right.
Pause.
That's the point. And he's doing the right thing. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. Happy to see this happen, although the reason we're telling you about it is because your friendly neighborhood ABC affiliate's not going to report it this way. They're going to say, oh my gosh, they were trying to come in the country illegally, and now they're not. They're going to have to stop. No, it's a pause. It's a pause. And you can thank your neighbor in Venezuela, your neighborhood cartel member, for now ruining it for everybody. But at some point, you've got to be like, sorry, we're going to have to take a look at the whole thing again. Raise your hand here if you love a lower loomer. Allie, you better put your hand out. Okay.
I did.
All right.
Dang. Public pressure, much? Jeez.
While they assess the situation going on in Afghanistan, I love, Laura Loomer shared this, but then a couple other people did too. I just want you to understand that how far we've come with the Trump administration. Remember when they were trying to mandate vaccines and how really awful they were with focusing on what was more important, I guess I want to say. Take a look at this older clip.
Sort of three elements here to it. One is that he will request approval from the president for a waiver to make the COVID vaccines mandatory by mid-September.
Meanwhile, that was happening.
Was the order for troops to be vaccinated immediately. I want to bring in NBC.
We do have a lot of news to get to this morning, starting with that chaos following the horrific attack
we could bring it back,
outside the Kabul airport.
So you're taking a look at September, largely, of 2021, and what the administration was pushing and pummeling through your woke mainstream media as the narrative. We got to vaccinate. We got to mandate the vaccine for these, for all of our men and women who serve in the military. Meanwhile, at the same time, botching the withdrawal in Afghanistan, Allie.
Yep. And allowing them to come over without being vaccinated.
That part.
And crippling our military in the process, thus weakening our national security and our foreign defense.
And in that one news bite, they go on to say this was the most heinous attack on our military for the 2 decades that we had been in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Who gets the award? Joe Biden. I mean, come on, guys. We managed to be over there for 2 decades, whether you like it or not, post 9/11. And on the day that you choose to withdraw, you can't get your act together enough to make sure that first things first, our men and women are kept safe. Look at those people that were on the tarmac. I mean, does that look like organized anything?
Looks like chaos.
I mean,
which is essentially what they're sowing in America currently under this Democrat Tifa color revolution.
Democrat Tifa, I'm going to steal that at the next school board.
Thanks, Chad Caton.
Chad Caton, we love you. We love you. So there you go. There you have it. September 2021. You can see their major story was let's jab a needle into all these hardworking men and women who serve us in the military. Meanwhile, botched the withdrawal into Afghanistan, lost 13 service members' lives, and also rolled out the red carpet for the person who just murdered 2. Well, one of them still fighting for his life, thank God. At least one of the National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. last week came over on the heels of that withdrawal.
And now you have the seditious 6 who are literally sitting in Congress that are advocating for an insurgency of our military. Like, you cannot make this up if you wanted to. I feel like I'm stuck in Shonda land.
Shonda Rhimes?
Yes. This
okay, like the creator of Grey's Anatomy?
And the creator of Scandal. Like, literally, I'm living in
Where do you think she gets it?
World.
You know there's a real Olivia Hope somewhere. Olivia Pope. Hope? What's her name?
Maybe I'm Olivia Hope. I don't know.
We'll get swag. We'll get T-shirts made. I like that. I like that. Well, people, I have to let you know that what we're hearing is that and again, Laura Loomer, thank you for bringing this to our attention, that there is work being done to have a report drawn up over what took place with that botched withdrawal in 2021 out of Afghanistan. Take a look at this. This is, Laura Loomer shared this. The United States Assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Public Affairs, Sean Parnell, tells her that he's hoping to release the full report from the withdrawal of Afghanistan and that Afghan refugee resettlement report, hopefully by March of 2026. But he's saying he wants it to be fully unclassified so the public can know the truth and how disastrous that withdrawal was.
100%. 100% it needs to be completely declassified. Yeah. Completely. Laura Hartman commented, and she said on our thread here, she said, good point. At Real Allie Leger, backdoor immigrants didn't take the COVID-19 shot. Thank you, Laura. We appreciate you. She is the whistleblower veteran advocacy nurse, and she's amazing. So full of knowledge. We appreciate you watching all the time. Thanks, girl.
Well, she's amazing. And what I love about Laura and people like her is that they are quick to share their knowledge because it's all about getting it out there. Think about this, guys, those of you that are watching today, how many times have you heard that those that came here from Afghanistan during that botched withdrawal under that refugee program were not required to take the jab while you, in order to keep your job, were? I mean, did you even know that? Why weren't the three-letter media agencies reporting that? It wasn't part of the talking points. Sad.
Mind you, they arrested moms at school board meetings for speaking up about sex and curriculum. Not even sex, porn, actually. So,
in the books that our tax dollars were paying for.
Which is considered educational material because it's approved by the board. Y'all, this is how low and lax our common sense has been. None of it makes sense.
Well, and here in the state of Florida, where we really do try to lead the way on parental rights, what's frustrating, and then I'll just put it out there and people can look into what state you're from and whether or not they do it there as well. We have laws on the books that are supposed to stop pornography from getting in the hands of children. You don't believe me? Try to give somebody who's underage something that's pornographic and see how fast their parents hold you accountable. It's there for a reason, right? You can't go to a park and expose yourself. It's supposed to be stuff that's harmful for children, but you've got these people that are in education making decisions within administrations in our education circles that want to pretend that they don't understand what harmful to minors are. Because, what if it has literary value? I'm sorry, depictions of oral sex for children drawn in cartoons. Where's the literary value on that? It's a picture. Get it out of the books. So I have a short fuse for people that want to put their face in the sand on the wonderful Gulf beaches we have here in Florida and pretend that they don't understand what harmful to minors is.
No, yeah, for sure. Or across the nation. Absolutely. It's
across
common
the nation.
sense.
I'm sure it's happening everywhere.
It's common sense.
Absolutely. Oh, it got hot in here.
Yeah, girl, you on fire. Keep going. Today's your day. It was my day a couple days ago, so you can take it.
Okay. Well, I love it when Dan Bongino reposts Kash Patel because they kind of work in collaboration. Take a look at this post. You shared this with me. Dan Bongino basically talking about how they're now at a 20-year low in America for mass killings. Because we tend to, and listen, we have to talk about this, guys, because we really are quick to share the failures that we still see within the intelligence communities as far as not seeing things happening fast enough, although we're told to be patient. So let's go ahead and talk about the things they are doing well. Obviously, they're looking for they're finding the children that have largely been lost under the Biden administration that were under the unaccompanied minors program. But now talking about mass killings in 2025, hitting a U.S. low ever since 2006. Where's our Democrats that want all this gun control and, to stop killings? I thought, I'm sure some of them will pick this story up.
Possibly. Maybe not. I wouldn't hold my breath. What? Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm watching Benny Johnson post the video of the alleged suspect, January 6th pipe bomber. According to new reports, it says that there has been an arrest for the J6 pipe bomber suspect identified as Virginia man Brian Cole, sources told Fox News. That's reporting from Benny Johnson right now. I believe he posted about 18 minutes ago. But we do have a little bit of dissenting opinions about this.
I thought it was a woman.
Right. Everyone thought it was a woman. it was the story was broken by CBS. It's a little interesting how some of these things are coming about. So I don't know. It's 48 hours.
Broadcast services, CBS. What could we make that? Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll give it the 72-hour test?
Yeah, the Bongino test. Apparently this person is going straight to court today, which seems to be like the fast track to accountability we've seen. And so it makes everybody kind of pause, like, why the rush?
Don't put them in the same prison you did Jeffrey Epstein. Can we just get a
don't
separate...
do that.
Let's not do that.
But I don't know. Watching this video of this person wave at a police car that's driving by as they drop the bomb just makes you, I don't know, question. Maybe that person would not be safe in jail. I don't know.
Thank you, Allie, for keeping us up to date on that. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that. I'm sure we'll have more coming, if not tomorrow, I'm sure next week.
Yeah.
We want to talk a little bit about we talk about the Russia hoax and Crossfire Hurricane and how that demolished or attempted to demolish General Michael Flynn in hopes to get to Donald Trump with this fabricated intelligence information that many in the intelligence community said this is not how we put together intelligence. This is largely not considered corroborated information. Do not put this in a report. We know it was funded. The dossier was funded by then candidate Hillary Clinton. We know Barack Obama and Joe Biden, then as vice president, both looked the other way. Brennan signed on. So we know there's a pile big enough to know exactly what happened and how bad it was and who was harmed by it. But this is the most concerning thing that we are going to cover this hour. And I need you guys to turn your volume up because I cannot believe we're about to say this. We have a representative, Elise Stefanik. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Yeah. She just said she walked out of a briefing on the issue of Crossfire Hurricane this morning. But she's saying it's confirmed everything she posted yesterday. That, in fact, she's saying the speaker, that's Mike Johnson, is blocking her provision to root out the illegal weaponization that led to Crossfire Hurricane, Arctic frost, when the intelligence community spied on our congressional members, and more. He is siding with Jamie Raskin against Trump Republicans to block the provision to protect the deep state. This is an easy one. The bill is dead on arrival unless this provision gets added in and is passed out of committee. I smell a call to action coming from our open mic ladies and others. What do you think, Allie? This is crazy.
Possibly. I mean, and I think this is kind of alluding to what, Anna Luna said I believe it was last week, where she said, why is leadership siding with corrupt politicians on both the Democrat and Republican sides? Now, I don't necessarily agree with who she was specifically speaking about, but I do think that there is a little bit of, controversy there. So we'll see. I mean, please follow Elise Stefanik to keep up to date with this. She had posted a couple of days ago, not a couple of days ago, but a couple of, maybe a couple of hours ago about this situation unfolding. So we'll just
make sure that you guys, if you don't already, follow Allie and I on social media, but as well as at Open Mic Ladies, because we'll have a call to action coming forward, as well as checking out thehollowalliance.com, where we keep all of our call to actions, whether it's state or federal. But the call to action is probably going to end up being speaking to Mike Johnson and making sure that you call your representative to say, hey, let's get this language right. I mean, we're not just up there trying in Washington, D.C., trying to push bills through with improper language. I don't want to have to remedy it later. We have a chance to right the ship now, and there are people whose lives will never be the same because of the abuse of the intelligence agencies. We can't just bellyache about it and then not do something to protect it and stop it from happening in the future.
Well, so here I found something she posted on December 3rd. Which was yesterday, and it says, great news. After a productive discussion I had last night with President Trump and Speaker Johnson, the provision requiring congressional disclosure when the FBI opens counterintelligence investigations into presidential and federal candidates seeking office will be included in the IAA/NDAA bill on the floor. This is a significant legislative win delivered again against the illegal weaponization of the deep state. And of course, while this is an important step, there is so much more work to do. So we appreciate you, Elise. Thank you for your diligent work with this. We must hold the weaponization, the people that have weaponized our government, accountable. So
And keep your eye on that NDAA. There's a lot of caution that we have around that. So I guess, let's now make the push to get our elected representatives to make sure that they jump on board and see this through. It needs to get through
There
committee.
just seems to be a lot of issues with Speaker Johnson. Like, I don't understand why we still have a DOGE Act that is sitting in the queue, why we still have the repeal of the Smith Modernization Act still sitting in the queue, why we still have an anti-anchor baby bill that is still sitting in the queue. And it's all by one representative that has submitted all of this information. But yet we have other representatives in the House that are talking about leadership is protecting this person. Why? They're not even pushing any of his legislation that actually codifies the executive orders that President Trump has signed. Like, what are we talking about? Speaker Johnson, I need you to get on it. I don't understand what is going on. I understand that we can do a withdrawal force vote for the insider stock trading, and that will explode and expose a lot of things and allow Congress to not move slower than a snail's pace, because actually I really believe that Congress is moving slower than a snail. I don't understand why we move so slow, but the insider trading aspect does point to the reasoning. So I need Congress to act, right? Yes. But I also need the American people to utilize their public pressure, utilize their lobby voice, and speak to our representatives, not just locally, but federally too.
Allie, I think you hit the nail on the head, and that's part of what's different this time around. I would say it's even more different than the first administration where Trump was at the helm. We're now creating a new norm, which is the clicking of heels down the hallway if you don't act the way we ordered you to act when we voted you in. And people think that's really cute, but you know what? It's not when you've got a mom staring you in the face, or a wounded veteran, or a wounded vaccine recipient standing there saying, wait a minute, you said you were going to do this. And we just heard Governor DeSantis say this yesterday in his press conference. What you are elected for, go in and finish it. And largely, some could say that could apply to him too, and others. But he's absolutely right. This is how you change the GOP. Forget about the good old boy network. It doesn't function as a good old boy network when you have people constantly putting pressure on you to do the things you said you were going to do. And this is new for them. And that's why they're used to working at a snail's pace. And
you have to connect what they say while they're running for office on the campaign trail to what they do while they are currently in office. If you cannot connect the two and hold them accountable for what they do, they will continue to move slower than a snail. Okay, we are about to close, coming up on a hard end, but we have one more thing.
Absolutely. Do you want to? So it is your favorite. I'm going to say that tongue in cheek, Secretary of War. Pete Hegseth, he's my favorite too. Come on. But he, for the first time, lit a Pentagon Christmas tree in a Pentagon Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Take a listen. Yeah.
We are gathered to celebrate the blessing of Christmas season here at the Pentagon. And a couple of months ago, my wife said, babe, President Trump brought Merry Christmas back. We're going to bring Christmas back to the Pentagon. And that's what we're doing.
I love that.
We are going to light a new permanent Christmas tree, and this one is a beauty. A 14-foot Nellie Stevens holly from Chantilly, Virginia, local. They say when the tree was planted, there were bald eagles flying overhead. True story. Fitting for this building. It will grow to 30 feet tall and live for at least 50 years, a fitting tribute to the warrior ethos here. It replaced a small serviceberry tree that was slated for removal anyway. So it made sense.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I can't. Well, we are up against a hard stop, I know, but we wanted to give you some Christmas cheer before we signed out. Guys, make sure that you join us here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. And as we say goodbye to you today, guys, you keep your microphone hot and open.
Be the tip of the spear. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Is high.